Have you ever been wronged, made fun of, bamboozled? Have you ever been upset with someone?
Of course you have. Welcome to Being Human. Conflict is a part of life, and if you've learned anything in the last 15 seconds, you're going to have some conflict from time to time. But here's the big question. What do you do when you experience conflict with someone? Because you definitely have some choices that you could make. Like option number one, you could sweep it under the rug and ignore it, just keep it there as long as you can. Problem is, it probably is not gonna stay there. And eventually that resentment and bitterness will start leaking out of you. Suddenly you find yourself gossiping and backbiting and saying callous words. Or maybe you even escalate it to a full-blown Chuck Norris physical fight. Next thing you know, you find yourself homeless, friendless, and penniless, thinking, wow, I probably should have handled that differently. Sorry about back there, I think I might have gotten a little carried away. But seriously, letting conflict sit without resolving it is not a great option. So the other option we have is you could handle conflict God's way. What's God's way, you ask? Matthew 18:15 gives us a pretty straightforward answer. It says, if another believer sins against you, go privately and point out that offense. If the other person listens and confesses it, you have won that person back. This verse is specifically talking about dealing with others who are also in God's family, but the principle here is pretty universal. If someone offends you, the first step is to talk to them about it directly. So let's break this down with a couple everyday examples. Let's say that you and one of your friends is messing around and they maybe take a joke a little bit too far. They say something mean and kind of stings. You've got a couple of options here. You could fly off the handle, screaming, yelling, and maybe even escalate it to a physical fight. Or you could take a deep breath, pull your friend aside, and calmly let them know what happened, how it made you feel, and give them a chance to apologize and fix the issue. Or maybe you have a sibling that won't stop taking your stuff without asking. We all have those. You could choose to fight fire with fire, steal something of theirs for that sweet, sweet revenge. Or you could talk to them directly and calmly. Let them know that what they're doing is wrong and it needs to stop. And, if that doesn't work, you could always bring in the big guns and tell your parents. Trust me, that one works every time. You see, the Jesus way of dealing with our problems is all about going to the person you have a problem with and telling them what's bothering you. Let them know what happened and see if they're willing to apologize or fix the issue. There might be some uncomfortable feelings when you talk to them, but it's totally worth it. And when you're calm, they are way more likely to listen to you. And you two can make things right again. But wait a second. What if you're the one who's done wrong? What's the Bible say about that, huh?
I don't know.
Well, Jesus has something to say about that in Matthew 5:24. He says if you realize that someone has something against you, you need to go to them ASAP, as soon as possible, and make it right. Tell on yourself, admit what you did was wrong, and show them how you plan to change. It's not about defending yourself here, it's about humility and making things right. Now, why is all of this so important? Because unresolved conflict can tear families apart. It can tear friendships apart. It can tear communities apart. Mark 3:25 says that a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And that goes for any group of people, friends, classmates, and especially churches. So next time you find yourself in a conflict, remember, don't sweep it under the rug. Don't let bitterness grow. Instead, take a deep breath. Follow the steps that Jesus laid out in Matthew and Mark and aim for peace. That's the best way to handle conflict. Trust me, because I got this information from the Bible.